From Y Forum, this is Dare to Ask. Lauren from Australia asked us, when is a woman at her sexiest in life? Adam, 42, from Illinois, replied, it's one thing to have a rifle. It's another to know how to pick off a deer at 200 yards. Older women who have mastered the art blow away the competition. Amos, 32, from Chicago, said, some women are young and sexy, but some put on a few pounds in the right places and get a good streak of gray hair and age into their sexiness. Kat, a 20-year-old female from Tampa, had this to say, if you look at it biologically, a woman who is fertile is sexy. From that view, a woman is most desirable to a man at a younger age. Artie, 54, from Canada, said, I can often look past the years to see in many women that lingering aura of the youthful beauty they once had. It may be in their eyes or smile or the shape of their nose. Match that with their higher degree of wisdom and experience, and it is far sexier. But I would never have been able to think that way when I was 25. John, 24, from Boynton Beach. I've met 40-year-olds with bodies teens envy, and teens with charm, wit, and traveling experience in spades. TM, 36, and a female from Indiana, said, younger men are the ones attracted to me. I'm very confident with my sexuality. I'm bolder and more assertive, and I don't feel my body or sex is all I have to offer. D. Mike, 20, from San Antonio, Texas, said, it depends a bit on their ethnicity, too. The ones who look sexier in their 30s are Latins and sometimes Middle Easterners. The ones who look better in their mid-20s are East Indians, African descendants, and Northern Europeans. The ones who look better in their early 20s or earlier are Native Americans and some Middle Easterners. Here's what we found. Sure, we've all heard of studies that say women are considered most attractive when they're young because men are yearning to reproduce. But that's more about old guys trying to regain their youth, said celebrity psychologist and sexpert Dory Lynn at drdoRree.com. She's the author of Sex for Grown-Ups. For a different position, let us travel back to the Europe of yore, when a young man was initiated into sexuality with an older, beautiful woman. Why? Maybe because society and the media weren't around saying that if you gain a few pounds, get a few edges and knotty bones, and your butt droops, that you're past your prime, Lynn said. She added, she was a woman of the world back then, and that was considered sexy and beautiful. The bottom line is that a woman is sexiest when she feels she is at her sexiest, not when her hormones peak. Attitude trumps technique. In Lynn's studies, half of women said sex over 50 didn't exist. Yet half said the sex was the best ever. So, sexiness is just how you look at yourself? Lynn said, it's being comfortable in your own skin. Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, Heidi Montag, whether it's boobs or nose or hair, it's always a new look. There's no beauty in that or sexiness. Candace, 25 and white from Fremont, Nebraska asked, "There are more Latinos moving into our community. In several homes I have visited, there have been several large stuffed animals on display. Why are these used as prominent decorative pieces?" ACC 34 and a Mexican and American Indian male from Indiana replied, "I've always associated adults with stuffed toys as something young white women sometimes have a thing for, as a way of playfully showing they haven't yet needed to grow up because their families are so well off. Sounds to me like what you're assuming is something a few Latinos do is actually more a sign of upper middle class assimilation or imitating well-off white women." Alma, 46 and white from Texas, said, "This generally lower middle class white lesbian has about 30 stuffed animals in her living room." 21-year-old Latino Dan from Los Angeles states, "I guess we just like to decorate our homes with inexpensive items. Sometimes you'll see clown and circus animal statuettes. Sometimes you'll see little plastic dolls from 25-cent vending machines. Sometimes you'll see empty tequila bottles lined up on the mantel, etc. It has a folksy, kitschy charm." Here's what we found. And just so no one says we're stuffing the ballot box, we are having a good old Caucasian designer weigh in on this one, as well as a Latina. Two folks with more taste than most of us for the price of one. Emmy-winning interior decorator Christopher Lowell at ChristopherLowellHome.com has hosted Discovery Channel's The Christopher Lowell Show, is one of the originators of the turnaround. He goes into homes of folks of modest means and offers to spruce up their decor on a budget. When low-income Hispanics decorate with stuffed animals, it's often about trying to hang on to something, he said. When I ask them about it, it's about displacement because of vacillating immigration laws and with some being illegal, especially among females. These little characters are the equivalent of imaginary friends, he said. Many outgrow the stuffed characters, or they may have a few in a curio cabinet. They become like diary benchmarks, Lowell said. These stuffed toys may have been taken with them at one time, maybe even on the run. All in all, he said, much of it has to do with cultural inheritance. In the same way some Hispanics use bright colors to celebrate their homelands, or some Italian Americans put slip covers on their furniture out of a poverty consciousness. Meanwhile, Marlene Pratt, a second-generation Cuban-Dominican interior designer, who's co-hosted Univision's Mi Casa es Su Casa and co-founded CasaLatina.com, said she's seen the stuffed animals among Hispanics and other cultures. If you walk into a first-generation Italian home and they are attached to something like that, they aren't going to let go of it. If you walk into an Irish home and they see it, they won't want to let go. She helps people see things in a different way from the past. She said some stereotypes, such as slip covers on Italian-American sofas, are just that. My mother had plastic on her furniture too. I pushed her to take it off. I had to sign a paper that stated that if the sofa got stained or fell apart, I would have to buy a new sofa. For more on this groundbreaking cross-cultural Q&A project, visit youdaretoask.com.